children know that you pray daily? Do your children watch what you watch on TV? Listen to what comes out of your mouth? They do, whether you believe it or not. They'll hear what you do. Keeping your vows to God, including your marriage vows. How important that is. Over the last almost 24 years, I've had a lot of people come and say, we're just going to get a divorce. I said, well, why? We're just going to. I said, what about the vow you took? Until death do us part. Today in America, it seems to be, people aren't even willing to try to save their marriages. Now, if it doesn't work out, let's get a divorce. We need to save it. You know, one of the things that I've told for years to people that I marry, do me a favor. If you start having problems in your marriage, immediately come see me. Maybe the three of us and God can get it straight. I've had one couple do that in almost 24 years. A couple I didn't know there was even a problem at all, and they called me and said, well, you told us to do that. And I said, well, yeah, you're the first ones ever done it. And they're still married and have 2 kids. Doing well. In fact, he is a custodian for Southeast Oklahoma District, their camp. But would your home meet the requirements for an earthly dwelling for God's Son? I want to share just a few thoughts with you about Mary and Joseph's house and how it was the ideal residence for God to use to fulfill His promise. If you like to fill in the blanks, we're going to start right now. The first one is this: God will use a home that's filled with love. God will use a home that's filled with love. Now, Matthew very clearly speaks of Joseph's love for Mary. And folks, in his case, love covers all faults. Joseph loved Mary in spite of what he perceived to be her faults. Paul tells us love doesn't demand its own way. Love understands extenuating circumstances and it makes allowances for them. Love always forgives, and it doesn't hold grudges. Therefore, the abrasions and the hurts that we inflict upon each other, they can heal if we'll let them, and if we'll be patient. Is there enough love in your home to offset whatever problems the hazards of marriage raise up? Point number 2 is this: God will use a home that's filled with commitment. Commitment. Mary's commitment to God is described in Luke 1:38. Joseph's commitment to God is described in Matthew 1:20 through 24. And Mary and Joseph's together as a couple, their commitment to God is described in Luke 2:41 through 42. What is the level of commitment to God in your home? Do the things of God take precedence over secular things? Do your children have a good reason to believe that God's number one in your house, in your life, and in your home? They understand more about your commitments to God than you may think they do. There was a little boy who said to his mom, he said, "Mom, whose book is that on the table there?" And she said, "Oh, that's God's. Don't touch it." And the little boy said, "Well, if it's God's, we may as well send it back to him. We never read it." There's certain other things that we need to have towards other people. Number 3, God will use a home that has a healthy atmosphere. A healthy atmosphere. And in order for us to have a good attitude toward other people, we've got to have a healthy attitude toward others. Number 1, we need to have a caring attitude toward our spouse and our kids. I was an insurance agent. You've only heard me tell you that 1,000 times probably for 7.5 years. I became a sales manager for 2 years. And when I became a sales manager, I thought, boy, I've arrived. I've supervised 17 agents. I'm the boss of 17 people now. And you know what I found out? I picked up 17 bosses. Because I got paid an override off their commission. So I was always working. 70 hours a week minimum. And I was the home office expert, or I was the commercial expert, or whatever it was. I was out on calls. And I had a boss that really didn't understand too many things. And sometimes when I get home, I was just wound up. You know, I was afraid to bite somebody's head off. And usually, I would come home just want to be left alone, just sit down and calm down, and my wife would say, "Hi, honey," and I said, "What do you want?" Nothing. And I'd go upstairs to our bedroom, and we had an old Atari 2600. Do you remember those things back in ancient history? And I'd kill about 1 million Space Invaders and get all my stress out. And then I'd go down, the kids would be in bed, and I'd apologize to my wife. I said, "I'm so sorry. You weren't the one that got me upset, but I took it out on you." And I often wondered, why is it that we take out our frustrations on the ones that we love who didn't cause it in the first place? Sometimes we say, "Well, they understand me, they can take it." Well, that's not a good excuse, is it? Don't do that. Don't take your frustrations out on your family. And then a respectful attitude toward the people with whom you worship is essential. You ever wonder why a lot of people don't want to go to church? I've had people over the years say, "Well, is so-and-so there at your church now?" Yeah, they're church board members. "Well, I'm not coming." Why? I don't do what they do. Let me tell you what they did, and then they'll tell me a story. "Oh, I'm sorry." If they're supposed to be Christians, I don't do that, and I'm bearing there. That's what your church is. I want to be a part of the church. You know, by their fruit shall you know. The scripture says, we got to love each other that are here in the church. Over my lifetime, many times we've pastored and been a layman in church, I've seen people that can't stand each other that worship together. When they see that person, they walk the other way, or they do this. And then we wonder why people don't come to our church. If we can't love each other when we're in church together, what's wrong with us? There's a problem. And I've had people say, "Well, Pastor, I'm sorry, I just have to leave the church." I said, "Well, why?" "Well, so-and-so goes there." I said, "Well, pray for them." "No, not going to do it. I just can't get along with them, and I'm going to go to another church." I said, "Well, okay." They go to another church, and maybe they didn't, they'll come and say, "Well, we really left because of that pastor. We didn't like him." "Oh, okay." Well, about 2 or 3 years later, they're moving again. You know why? They don't like the new pastor that they went to, or they don't like the new Sunday school teacher, or whatever it is. The problem is not others. It's an internal problem. It's a sin problem. So we need to have a healthy attitude toward each other, the ones we work with. And then a respectful attitude toward neighbors and your fellow workers, people you work with. When you say you're a Christian, you're advertising Jesus Christ. What kind of an ad are you making for Jesus? I hope it's a good one. Young Johnny reached for the phone on Saturday morning. His dad said through his clenched teeth, "If that's that guy from the office, tell him I'm not home." And then later that night, they went to the restaurant, the family went, and they got ready to leave, and Mom looked at the bill, and she said, "Well, that waitress undercharged her." Dad said, "That's her problem." And as they got in the car and they were going back, they were looking at something, a little box that Dad had bought that went on top of the, what do you call that thing? Dashboard. Thank you. On top of the dashboard, and he called it a fuzz buster. Well, Johnny didn't know what that was, but he said, "That thing has paid for itself already in the number of speeding tickets I should have gotten if I didn't have it." He said, "Isn't life good?" Well, Johnny got home that night and he studied for his Sunday school lesson the next morning, and he thought how good this Saturday was compared to the week before, where he'd been grounded by his dad for cheating on his arithmetic test. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? God's Son loves, respects everyone, and cares for everyone. Do you communicate these qualities to everyone around you? Is there an atmosphere of personal discipline that's present in your home? Our personal habits will either make us stronger or weaker in our faith. It's not what we gain, but what we save that makes us rich. It's not what men eat, but what they digest that makes them strong. It's not what we read, but what we remember that makes us learn